details. Yeah.
There you go.
Good stuff. Okay, so I'm just going to start the slideshow. Ooh. Oh, this slideshow always goes funny. Okay, so welcome everybody to the Global Blockchain, Cryptocurrency and Trading Community Meetup. Tonight is hosted by myself and Simon. Dee won't be with us, he's a bit unwell. We ask you not to record because we are already doing so. We would also like to invite you all, especially those that are new, into our Telegram group. We have a private Telegram group that's only available to those that join the Meetups group. So if you want to send me a DM in the messaging, in the chat here on Zoom, I'll get you set up in the group. There's also some Meetups feedback. If you could fill out the Meetups feedback form, it would be greatly appreciated. It helps other people find the community. And this is not financial advice. So just our code of conduct in our meeting this evening, we ask everyone to be aware of others, be friendly and patient, be welcoming and respectful, be open to all questions and viewpoints, be understanding of differences, and be kind and considerate to others. So tonight is our last night before we break up for the summer. So we're going to be taking the month of August off, and we will be back at the start of September.
Interesting. It's like our one time where we make hell of money.
Tonight, what we're going to be looking at is non-fungible tokens, and we have Ian, one of our own members here, going to be talking about Ecomi, and we also have Graydon from Phantom.io going to be talking about the Phantom chain. And I'm going to let Simon, I'm going to stop sharing, and I'm going to quickly let Simon introduce Graydon. That's okay?
Yeah. Have we still got Graydon in the meetup?
We lost our first speaker.
I think we might have lost him. Yeah. Okay. Well, hopefully he'll be back in a second. So I got talking to Graydon through another contact at Phantasma chain, and I was really interested in Phantasma when I first saw it, and the native token for it is the Soul token. And it's a very cheap and easy blockchain to mint NFTs on. And if you take a look at the site, which is phantasma.io, it's a really funky looking site. And what we're hoping that Graydon will be able to do when he rejoins is actually talk us through how you can mint an NFT, how easy the site is, and maybe a little bit about the roadmap for Phantasma. I may have mentioned last time, but one of the recent projects or NFTs they did was the Jay and Silent Bob NFTs that Kevin Smith was promoting on Phantasma. So really, really cool blockchain, really cool project. But I think we may have Graydon back now.
Yeah, I'll just admit him now.
Fingers crossed.
He's just connecting there.
Hi, Graydon. Are you back?
Hi, I'm back. I've moved to another room just to see if it will make any difference.
You missed the most amazing introduction I did for you. Really good you up.
Thanks for that. Apologies, everyone. I'm having some connection problems at the moment for some reason.
That connection does seem a lot stronger now, Graydon.
Yeah. Okay. Hopefully, we'll see. Okay.
Well, Simon was just introducing you, so if you want to finish off there on the introduction, Simon.
Yeah. So yeah, we were just talking about some of the things that might be interesting to go through for this group. And I know in the past we talked a lot about NFTs. So Graydon's kindly offered to run us through how Phantasma works, a little bit about the roadmap, and maybe a live walkthrough if Wi-Fi permits on how to mint an NFT. So if you're okay with that, Graydon, I'll hand over to you to get cracking.
Okay, thank you very much. I'll just give you a very brief introduction. My name's Graydon. I'm the account executive at Phantasma Chain. I'm not on the technical or development side of things. I'm account executive, so I market network clients to bring onto Phantasma. I sit through the initial meetups and go through the the various stages, take it to an MOU, we scope the project, and then I pass it over to the technical development guys, and the real magic happens, and they integrate it into Phantasma. But that's kind of where my level of expertise stops. As I said, I don't have a technical or development background, so if you have questions that are that way based, then I can certainly get answers to them for you at a later date, but I wouldn't be able to answer anything on that scale tonight. But anyway, so I'll just give you a brief background about Phantasma. We started in 2018 with an ICO. We were formed by a developer called Sergio Flores, who is an ex-City of Zion developer. For those that don't know City of Zion, it was kind of the Western arm of development for the Neo blockchain a few years back, but they were actually called Ant Shares at the time. So Sergio is an incredible blockchain developer, and he decided that he didn't like the problems that blighted the legacy blockchains that were around at the time. So he looked to build out his own blockchain. So we did the ICO, and then in 2018 we formed Phantasma. I didn't come on board till November last year, but as part of the management team, but I was actually involved with Phantasma as a community member and like an admin within the Telegram group for a good 18 months before they actually brought me onto the management side. But Phantasma is a highly scalable layer 1 blockchain development solution. We are built from the ground up and we are specifically designed with NFTs, gaming, and dApps in mind. So we can specialize in dApps and with NFTs. Back a couple of years ago, Sergio linked up with a guy called Vincent Genest after a development competition. And Vincent was trying to build out his Ghost marketplace, which had the vision of being the go-to marketplace for NFTs. I'm hoping tonight I'll be able to show you how to mint an NFT on Ghost Market, because today is actually, as far as I know, the day that they're going to launch their V2 product, and I'm hoping it's not just at the moment that I'm trying to do the demo to show you how to actually create an NFT, but it's a big day for Ghost Market today. So anyway, Sergio had a game. He won the Neo development competition and created a game called Nacho Men, which was a turn-based game that with little Mexican luchadors, and it was a little bit like it's a bit like rock paper scissors that one person makes a decision and then you have to counteract their move with another move and so on, and there's various items that you can use within the game. It was all NFT based, but it's actually been taken down and is kind of in redevelopment at the moment. But it was the first game that kind of got me interested in what Phantasma was doing and with NFTs, and I was very lucky I managed to beta test Nacho Men before it went back into development. Phantasma has got two wallets that we currently use. There's actually a third, but it's not really functional at the moment. We've got two wallets. One is called Poltergeist, which is a desktop wallet, and we have a second wallet called Ecto, which is a browser extension wallet. It's very much functions in the same way as MetaMask. We have a dual token system on Phantasma. We have two tokens, one called Soul and one called kcal. Soul is our governance token. It allows, we like the idea of a dual token system because it allows people to use the utility token and use the platform without burning through their initial holding token, which obviously with some chains or with some projects, people don't like to spend the coin that they're holding, because if you're speculating, you want it to go up in value, you're reluctant to actually spend it. So we have a utility token that you actually earn by staking the governance token. So by staking Soul, you actually earn kcal, and kcal is the utility token that transacts on chain and covers all smart contracts, pays for minting fees, claiming Soul, claiming rewards, There's lots of utility. kcal covers every transaction on the on-chain. Sol also gives you voting rights within the system. You can stake your Sol. So if you stake 2 Sol within your wallet, it allows you to name your wallet. So you can basically send funds on the main net between each other. So Simon can send funds to Paula. If Simon's wallet is called Simon and Paula's wallet is called Paula, you don't need to know the long public address. You can just send direct by name. So we have a name service. Also, naming your wallet allows you to authenticate your work in Ghost Market. So by having your name attached to your wallet, you then produce your NFTs, your artwork, your music, your photography, and it's attached to your wallet and will authenticate your work. If you stake 50,000 Sol or more in a wallet, you are given the title of a Sol Master. And Sol Masters earn a share every month of 125,000 Sol, which are Sol rewards. If you stake from the first of the month to the end of the month, you're entitled to Sol rewards. But also by staking your Sol, you earn 0.002 kcal per day. So if you are a Sol Master with 50,000 Sol, you'll earn 100 kcal per day. So over the space of a month, you earn 3,000 kcal. And currently it's 20 kcal to mint one NFT on Ghost Market. So you can easily cover costs. We also have something called Crown Rewards, which is if you stake your 50,000 Sol in your wallet, you're a Sol Master. If you stake it consecutively for 90 days from the inception date of the Crown Rewards, crowns are actually an NFT in themselves. Each crown gives you an extra 5% generation on your kcal. So if you hold 10 crowns in your wallet, you'll earn an extra 50% generation on your kcal. At the moment, if you have a full Sol Master with 20 crowns in your wallet, would give you 100% extra generation. So your 3,000 kcal now becomes 6,000 kcal per month. And the Sol rewards that you receive are shared amongst all the current Sol Masters in the system. We have about 750 at the moment. So we've got just short of 38 million Sol already locked up, earning staking rewards. But I did a calculation the other day, and I think with your 6,000 kcal for a maximum crown rewards plus your Sol, it works out at the moment it's about $176 a month. So not bad return for staking, and at the moment, you know, the Sol and kcal are quite low to where they were just 2 or 3 months ago. Sol sustains the entire ecosystem. We have a 3% inflation built in. A third of that goes to our block producers. A third of it goes to our Phantom Force Development Fund, which helps to fund projects, and a third goes into incentivized programs like the Sol Master rewards or extra crown rewards, and it's in use to incentivize projects. By having the dual token system with kcal, we're not subject to high ETH fees like on Ethereum. We're not subject to high fees if traffic gets high on the chain. I know with Ethereum the fees can get insanely high, but with Phantasma we can actually keep the fees low all the time, and it's currently I think 0.004 kcal per transaction on Phantasma, and 1 kcal is 0.023 of a cent at the moment. So you're talking absolute fractions of a cent to actually transact on the chain.
Graydon, can I just ask you there, have you a screen to share slides that go with all of that, have you?
Not at the moment. I can give you, let me see what I've got. I can probably give you, let me see what we got. You want, I can give, I can give you the token economy for Phantasma. Let me just see if I can share that with you. Shall I drop it into, I'll drop it into the chat.
Drop it into the chat there, yeah.
Okay, so you got a link there for the Phantasma token economy?
Perfect.
So as the ecosystem grows, we realize that the need for kcal is going to get greater and greater. One of our dApps is a racing game called 22 Racing. They were actually the first game to build on Phantasma. They took the SOL that they earned from pre-sale, from selling NFTs. They gave a discount for anybody who bought in SOL. They then took all the SOL, they've staked it, and they're earning the kcal, which pays for the transactions in the back end. So as a gamer, you can go on and play their game without having to worry about, so you're playing a blockchain game without having to worry about paying for the transactions. It's all done on the back end and paid for by the company. So what they're doing is not only locking up the SOL, they're actually providing you the free gaming experience. So it's seamless for you, and you're playing a blockchain game without effectively knowing that you're paying for all the transactions. It's all covered by the company. We've also got another dApp which is currently building on Phantasma called Clink. They are looking to, I think, eventually be a challenger to Spotify in some way, but to give a much greater revenue share, up to 90% to the actual musicians who upload and produce the NFTs. And they're looking to upload and create and upload 90 million NFTs onto the platform. So you're going to need a fair old amount of kcal for that as well. But kcal has a deflationary measure in place. It's not just generated, it can only be generated by staking SOL. But the deflationary measure is that when every single transaction that occurs on the platform automatically burns 50% of the kcal. So it does have a deflationary measure in place, and I think 25% of it goes into crown rewards as well for future incentives. So a little bit more about Phantasma. We have built-in oracles. We have a decentralized mail and chat, and we also have a storage. If you stake, for every SOL that you stake in the wallet, you will qualify for 40 meg of storage space. So if you hold the 50,000 of the SOL Master, you'll get around 2 gig of storage, which is not going to be good enough for videos and things like that, but it's good enough for you to store your most important files, all encrypted. The images that are used in any images that are used in our NFTs are all stored on IPFS. So they are they can't be modified, and all metadata within the NFTs is stored on chain, unlike other chains. So it's immutable, and even the locked content of our NFTs, which I'll explain a little bit later, also is all immutable. As a company, as a blockchain, we're capable of generating 2-second block times, and we have TPS, or transactions per second, of 5,000 transactions per second. Although we've kind of stopped using that as a measure because the chain has never actually been put to full capacity. So we realized that we kind of don't really talk about the TPS anymore, because it would require a lot more testing as we go along. We realized that more testing is needed before we can really know the full capacity of the chain. We support 8 programming languages, from C++, Java, Python, C#, and a couple of others. One of the big things we have is a dApp called Pavilion Hub. And Pavilion Hub is, I don't know if everyone's familiar with the Steam gaming platform. So Steam is, you can store all your online games. Pavilion Hub is a bridge between the blockchain games of the future and your Steam games on your Steam platform. So Pavilion actually acts as a bridge. You can integrate Steam into it, and you integrate your Phantasma wallet into Pavilion. And this allows you to have your blockchain wallet and your Steam games all in the same place. So it's a one-stop shop for all your games. Pavilion have currently released 4 games. I think the 4th one was announced just today. We've got 3 games currently running. One is the racing game called 22 Series, which has minted 300,000 NFTs to date. There's another game called Winter Fury and another game called The Gardens Between. What's special about these is the actual access to the game is an NFT. So the game license for the game is, you would buy it for about $50, something like that. You can play the game, but you can then trade and sell the NFT license. So the actual access to the game is an NFT, which makes it tradable. Some people in the past, when they've sold their accounts online, they've been banned in the past, but it will now be a case where NFTs are tradable. You can actually trade your account. One of the friction problems, one of the challenges we've got as Sol is that when we migrated our blockchain from Neo over to a mainnet, we kept our NEP5 Neo token. And when you trade on our mainnet, when you use our mainnet, you can only trade with the Sol and kcal token. And the problem with that is that you then have to convert it back into, you have to do a swap within our wallet to turn it back into a NEP5 and then send that to KuCoin if you want to trade the coin, which is the main coin exchange we use is KuCoin. It's where most of the liquidity is. So we realized that's been a challenge for Phantasma. It's made it a little bit hard to onboard users. It's made the whole process a little bit complicated as to for the user and for the artists and the musicians and the photographers that are using the Ghost Market app to create their NFTs. When they sell them, they want to be able to cash out as easily as possible. And with having to do wallet swaps, it's just an extra step that you have to do before you send it to the exchange to cash out. So we're actively pursuing a mainnet listing for Sol and kcal to make it that much easier for our artists, photographers, musicians, everybody to come and create their NFTs on Phantasma. The standard that we use on Phantasma is called Pepe 12. It's just what we've named it. It's compatible with the ERC 1155 and the ERC 721 Ethereum standard for NFTs. Some of the things that we created this Pepe 12 standard, and we call it our smart NFT technology. What it allows us to do is we can take an NFT and we can infuse an unlimited amount of NFTs into that NFT. You can create music albums, you can create loot boxes for games, you can create art collections, all within one NFT that you can then burn, which is a kind of way that you destroy it, and it releases the other NFTs that are in there into your wallet. So we call this like NFT inception. You can also do it with assets. So you can take an NFT and you can infuse it with Sol, with kcal, with Ethereum, with USDC, with Neo Gas. So you can increase the value of an NFT as well. When you destroy the NFT in your wallet, you release the funds as well, much in the same way as you do with an NFT. When you do it with an asset, you release the assets into your wallet as well. So this is good if you wanted to do, you can increase the value of an NFT. If I created a piece of artwork, I uploaded a piece of artwork, I could infuse it with 100 Sol or 1 ETH, well, anything I want, but it will automatically increase the value of the artwork. If you burn the artwork because you don't like the artwork, you still have value within the piece as well. But it can be used really well for things like loot boxes and stuff like that within games. We also have something, they're timed NFTs. So about 18 months ago, we did a conference in Australia called the PAX Festival, the PAX Conference. And what we did was the timed NFTs are date stamped. So we can send them to you as maybe a week-long pass to demo a game. So any of our dApps that come out, any of our games, we can send you a timed NFT, and you get to play the game for 2 days, 4 days, 5 days, whatever length of time is actually put into the NFT. At the end, you don't lose the NFT, it's not destroyed, but it just becomes a souvenir NFT, and the access to the game is lost. So we can use timed NFTs for demos anyway. We also have multi-layer NFTs. This is where you can actually create one NFT from lots of NFTs. So in our 22 racing game that is currently available, they're called hypercars, and each hypercar is made up of 25 different car parts, and each individual part is an individual NFT. You can then, so you can build and you can mod your own cars. You can create their different parts, different colors, different styles. They also have different levels. So you might have a rare one or a professional level one. And you can create your own cars, which gives you don't even have to play the racing game. You can just come in, you can design cars and sell them openly in a marketplace. So 25 parts make up one car, but you can also buy cars and then break them up into the 25 parts and sell the parts individually. You might win a car in a tournament. 22 Racing has got multi-sports, multiplayer is about to launch soon, which will have leaderboards, and we have an esports team who have been testing it for us. And there'll be competitions where you can win prizes. You can win prizes which will be NFTs with locked content or assets, or you can win a car and you can break it up and sell it however you want, or you can just race the car. So we have these multi-layer NFTs. One of the last thing that we have as well is you can mint on demand. And a lot of companies on different blockchains, they have to pre-mint. If you're going to do a sale of something, you have to pre-mint the NFTs. The problem with that is you don't know how many you're going to sell. If you're creating a game, you don't want to be creating hundreds or thousands of parts that are going to cost you a lot of money to create, only to find that you don't sell many of them. So on Phantasma, we have a mint on demand feature. So it's only once the NFT is created or is bought by the user, it is then automatically generated and sent directly to per person's wallet, all for just fractions of a cent. Minting fees are incredibly low on Phantasma. As I said, to create an NFT, it's about 40 cents at the moment, something like that. But to actually, the actual transaction, underlying transaction is about, is at fractions, absolute fractions of a cent. So it's very cheap for developers to come and build on Phantasma. We're also an incredibly eco-friendly blockchain with the proof of stake. We are incredibly efficient. I'm very proud of the fact that we're eco-friendly. We did an article just recently, which I'll drop into the chat, there was a comparison that if you spend 1 hour on Netflix, it's equivalent to 23 million transactions on Phantasma with regards to the same carbon footprint. So we're very proud that we're a very eco-friendly blockchain. So that's some information about what we do. We're a very global company. We're with the team is scattered all around the world. NFTs to us are, from my point of view, I have 2 sons who are absolute mad gamers, and I've spent fortunes on them over the years, where they've asked for in-game items. My oldest son was a big Fortnite player. He wanted to buy skins and weapons and all kinds of things. And when I understood NFTs, that you could create a collectible item that was digitally unique from all other items, that even the ones that look the same. So if we create 2 NFTs, one, they both look the same, but they have their own unique property in the sense of one is number 1 and one is number 2. The blockchain records that information. It is immutable, and therefore this makes NFTs unique in their own sense. I know some people are quite critical about NFT artwork because they think that why can't you just copy and paste and kind of right click and save an image and say, well, I own the same image as someone else. But for the artist, what you're doing, you can go to the Louvre and see the Mona Lisa. You can then also go to the gift shop and buy postcards of the Mona Lisa. But everyone knows that the one on the wall in the Louvre is the original, and that is, you know, that is not in dispute. With artwork, digital collectibles, an artist can create an image, and that is unique. It is unique in the sense that if you follow that artist and they become popular, you have a unique record on chain that you own that number 1 piece that they ever made. You kind of have to rely on the artist to then not go and mint it on another chain, the same image, but you still have that immutable record that you own the original copy, you know, the original painting, the original piece of artwork. So artwork is a developing thing in the NFT world. For games, NFTs will take over from, like I said before, with my sons playing their games, they want to spend money on items within the game. And I've talked to them, they're still a bit too young for me to understand that when you finish playing that game, you have a collectible. You can sell that item. You may have leveled up that item. You can sell that item on into a marketplace. We have our own Ghost marketplace. You can sell that item to somebody else and use the funds to buy something else, or that collectible may have gained huge amounts of value. If for, say, example, Paula was a famous YouTuber, a hugely famous gamer with 5 million subscribers, and you've bought an NFT, you've played with a particular sword in a game, you then can prove, because with your wallet, that item has come from your wallet. It is your item. It is immutable, that it came from your wallet. If you put that up in a marketplace for sale, you may have thousands of your subscribers all scrambling to try and buy that sword because they know that their favorite YouTuber and gamer owned that sword. And this creates a collectibles for NFTs as well. So we have artwork, you have musicians who can upload their music to NFT platforms, and we have photographers as well. It all works the same way. But my main interest is on the gaming side. I think it's exciting that how gaming and the NFT world will develop over the next few years. I've probably waffled on far too long, but what I'm going to do is give you a quick demo of how to create an NFT on Ghost Market, if that's okay, Paula. Let me see. Let me just. Is the connection okay?
That's fine. Yeah.
Okay.
Very fast.
Okay, good. So this is our gross marketplace. You've got various tabs along here. Gives you various information. You can have statistics about what's being bought and sold at the time. You have recently added for the latest NFTs that have been added currently. And then you have things like last sales. Let's see if it'll let me connect. But what we're going to do today is I'm just going to show you very quickly how to create an NFT. So down here, I have a Ghost Market wallet. This is my Poltergeist wallet. And as you'll see here, I've got some kcal, which is our energy token. I'm going to minimize that. You just have to have it running in the background. And Ghost Market uses something called Phantasma link, which will actually connect. Let me just see, I might have to just, let me see. It might not let me connect to the wallet. Let me just move this over. Okay, so now I'm going to connect to my wallet. So I click Phantasma. I want to connect with my Poltergeist wallet and I want to log in. Down here at the bottom, it's just turned orange. We use something called Phantasma link, which just runs in the background. And it's asking me to make a connection. So I'll connect my wallet. Okay, so these are just some NFTs that I've messed around with and made in the past. So we're going to go to create NFT. And we're going to go to upload image. And I actually not made this earlier just for the demo. So this is the image that I want to upload. We're going to call it so we give it a name. We're going to say free NFT for the so you give it a name and a description. In the type, you can choose whether it's a generic or it's art, music, game, whatever you want. So we're just going to go with generic. Royalties, these are for secondary sales. So if I sell this NFT, I put it into the marketplace, someone buys it for 100 SOL, they then sell it for 1,000 SOL in 2 weeks' time. I have royalties actually baked in here, which will allow me to take 10% of that 1,000 SOL. And this is fantastic for art, for music, for photography, not so much for gaming, but it's very important for artists. It's for secondary sales. So you can be earning money for years and years and years on your NFTs just on secondary sales. So I'm going to put, just for the sake of this, I'm going to put, in fact, I don't want to be greedy. Let's put 5% royalties in. We're going to create, how many have we got in the room?
We have 14.
Okay, so let's make 14. Now, normally you can then create a max supply. So I might want to create 14, but we'll have a max supply of 50. So we could actually send these out to another 36 people. But what we'll do is, just for the sake of the demo, we'll say quantity of 14 and a max supply of 14. Attributes is if you want to add anything in, as it says here, author, any more information about the NFT that you're creating. Now, this is the part where I said earlier about infusing your NFT. We will infuse this one. If you don't infuse it, it automatically defaults and takes 1 kcal and defaults with 1 kcal. But we're going to infuse all your NFTs. I will put 10 SOL in each one. And here, if I wanted to create the NFT now, but put it into my my wallet for a later date. I might be pre-minting them just for getting ready for some kind of sale. I can pre-mint them, or I can click mint and sell, and I can set the price. And as soon as I confirm mint down here, it will automatically create them and put them straight into the marketplace. And when I go back up here and put recently added, we'd see the NFT there ready. I'm not going to do that today. I'm just going to create them, and so they'll go straight to my wallet, and I can distribute them at a later date. The locked content is a really interesting feature that we have. If you wanted to sell, say, concert tickets, you wanted to be a band, you wanted to do a live gig, private gig somewhere, you could sell the NFT as a ticket in the description. In the description, you explain in the locked content down here, you link to the URL of a website, or where you might have information on how to obtain your ticket. You will have maybe a code. So in the locked content, if I said yes, locked content, I could go to a website, I can paste the URL in there, and it will take, or a link to somewhere, and it will take you there and give you the information you need to obtain the ticket. Within the NFT, there'll be a coded number in the locked content. When you contact the owner, they know it's you, and you've got access to a concert and things like that. So it makes it possible to have concert tickets. But another thing people like to do in the locked content, if you're an artist, you might want to upload a video of how you created the artwork that you were making. And it's a nice added extra it gives utility to the NFT that you're creating. And we think that adding utility into NFTs rather than just buying an image is important. We encourage a lot of people to try to create more utility for NFTs. So you can put in locked content. You could put a video of how you actually created a particular piece of artwork, and you can walk through. And it's just a nice added extra for people buying the NFTs. But today we're not going to put any locked content in. So we are creating 14 NFTs of this block of crypto image. The first NFT you create always costs 20 kcal. Each extra NFT you create after that in a series is only 4 kcal. So you're only paying about 8 cents for every other NFT. Your original NFT is about 40 cents, and each one after that is about 8 cents. So we should have 13 times 4 should be 52, plus the 20 original. You can see down here, we've got 72 kcal is going to be the fee. Underneath, you can see it's $1.63 currently. And you've got about 0.008 kcal is for the network fee. So this whole transaction is going to cost 72 kcal, $1.63 for us to create 14 NFTs. If you tried doing that on Ethereum 4 to 6 months ago, you'd have paid $80 to $100 for one NFT, and extortionate fees. So makes it very impractical for games companies to be building on Ethereum with such high minting fees. Phantasma is incredibly cheap, and as you can see, of the 72 kcal fee, 36 of that is going to be burned anyway. As I said earlier, 50% of the kcal in every transaction on Phantasma is burnt. So just confirm mint. Hopefully, as long as there's they're not doing the upgrade on Poltergeist. So down here again, it's asked me to confirm the connection in my wallet. I click yes, send, and as you'll see, it takes only a few seconds, and we should have all 14. There you go, it's done. So very, very fast, and it will jump. It will either jump automatically to my wallet, or I might have to just go into it. Just give it a second. If I go to my NFTs, Have we got them? It's probably these ones here, just loading the image. Normally, it sometimes takes 20 or 30 seconds for the chain to catch up. Let's see if we can get it to. There you go. So they're already in my wallet. And as you can see there. And then if I didn't want any of these, we have a little burn function here. And we've got another little function is that you can infuse it. So if I wanted to go and infuse any more into the asset, if I wanted to add more in NFTs into this one NFT, I just use this little infuse function. I click it, it comes up at the top here into the infuse cart, and then I can add more NFTs. Or I can just use this little flame, and it just adds it to the burn cart at the top. And I can just burn the NFT for fractions of a cent as well. Now, if you try to burn an NFT, I think on Ethereum, again, it was charging you extortionate amounts. So anyway, that just gives you a brief demo of how quick, how cheap, and how efficient it is to mint on Ghost Market, and the benefits to artists and musicians and photographers and games companies as they start to build on Phantasma.
That was really interesting, Graydon. I think some of the points that you made there about the costs were of particular interest, because the little bit of experimenting that I've done, I done with this community here back at the start, and we had a minting contest so we could all go and try the process, and we all went and found different platforms and tried them and stuff like that. And the feedback from everybody at the time was the cost. So we were probably looking around March when we done it. And the feedback from everybody, no matter what platform we done it on, was the cost.
Yeah, I think definitely the Ethereum-based platforms where you were looking at anything between maybe $80 and $150 at a time to create an NFT, which is just unsustainable as an artist. If you're trying to create an NFT artwork and you're having to create it for $80 to $100, you're having to sell it for $150, $200, and it just becomes unsustainable.
But as the price of the coins go up, does that not in effect have an inflationary impact on the price of minting the tokens, or the price of minting the tokens?
No, through governance, we can actually we can keep the costs of kcal very low. So we can actually scale kcal down because it's kcal is not impacted by the traffic on chain. It's you generate kcal by staking Sol, but we can keep kcal fees very low. Even if the price of Sol went very high, we can keep minting costs incredibly low. Minting costs will always be fractions of a cent, or maybe 30-40 cents on kcal on Ghost Market. It's always going to be incredibly low.
The process looked very easy as well. So
it's very simple. Yeah, it's a very quick, very easy process. The Phantasma link that connects your wallet in the back on the background as well. It's very simple to use. It's a very simple, very easy process.
Okay, does anybody have any questions for Graydon? Everybody's very quiet right now.
I think it was pretty thorough. I think a lot of the stuff. I mean, I've used I've held the Sol token and I've got it staked at the moment. I've yet to mint an NFT, so I was really interested tonight looking at this because I've done it on Binance Smart Chain. I've done one on Ethereum when it was cheaper. Various different platforms, Wax, but it just looks so simple doing it on Phantasma. And looking at what you've done, especially the infusing bit and things like that, looks superb.
The unlockable content as well looks good. What size videos can be uploaded? Is there a limit on the?
Not. I'd have to double check that. I can come back to you with an answer on that.
And also, then would the price of minting change if the file upload was fairly big?
I think that for now, there's just a max. There's a max on the file. If it exceeds that, you probably can't upload it for now.
Okay.
I'm not sure what features are going to happen with the Ghost Market V2 that's coming out. As far as I know, it's coming out today or tomorrow. So there may well be, much bigger file space for uploading images and videos, but I'm yet to find that out myself.
Was there a video on because you did the Jay and Silent Bob NFTs recently?
Yeah.
And I'm sure one of those had a video in, didn't it?
It actually in the content, none of the NFTs actually had video installed. Is-lot content, not that I'm aware of. I'd have to double check.
There was something. It was like it was animated or something. Sure, it was. It looked really good. Like.
Just some comments and questions here in the audience. From John, we have no questions. Great presentation. Thank you, Graydon. Mark is asking, how do you stake? Do you have a link that explains the staking process that we could share there with Mark?
We've got tutorials. Let me see if I can find something. It's very simple. I should just show you here. So this is, am I sharing my screen with you still?
No.
So what I'm interested in is, if I was to buy some SOL and then stake it and about earning money from it, that's I'm not interested in NFTs per se. I'm interested in you're saying you can earn money or something, so I'm not 100% sure how you would go about doing that.
Okay, so this is our Poltergeist wallet. If you bought SOL on KuCoin, this is the little bit I just said earlier that can be a little bit complicated. So when you buy SOL on KuCoin, it is a net 5 version of SOL. So what you have to do is to go to transfer. Just up here, we have Phantasma, Ethereum, Neo, and Binance Smart Chain. We're in the process of being interoperable with them. Here, you go to the little Neo sign, and you copy the address. And as you'll see, it begins with A, because they used to be called Ant shares originally. So a Neo address is beginning with an A. So you send from KuCoin, you copy this address, you add that into KuCoin, and you send to this address. Once this is here, you go to the Phantasma side of the wallet, you copy the address here, which is the P address. You then go back to the Neo side, and you'll see your net 5 SOL here, and you basically click the send button, and you paste the P address on the Phantasma side into the wallet on the Neo side. It then does a very, very fast cosmic swap, which takes just a few seconds and costs, I think, 0.001 Neo gas. And then you will see your SOL will appear on the Phantasma side. And then this gives you this stake button. And all you do is you just click that, and you can stake whatever SOL you have going here. So I've got 110 SOL. I've only got 3 SOL staked, so I can actually show you the function. So you click the stake button. Let's say I want to stake 20 of my SOL. Click confirm. It's going to cost 0.046 kcal. Yes. Send, and you'll see it takes seconds, and the transaction will be done. And then so there you go, nice and fast. I now have that SOL staked in my wallet. You'd earn, it's not per SOL per day, you earn 0.002 kcal per day. So whatever this is, 90 SOL or 23 SOL staked at times 0.002 will give you your kcal conversion. And then you can go and sell the kcal, or you can use it to create NFTs and create in-game items that you might want to sell, and use it for development. But the staking system is very, very simple within the wallet.
That was easy enough.
And when you say sell the kcal, you sell it back into SOL, and then that can be sold back on the open market. Is that what you mean?
No. So SOL kcal is its own token. You can sell it. You can sell it on Uniswap, but again, therein lies just one of the the endpoints that we're having at the moment with Phantasma is that in order to sell your kcal, you would have to send it to the Ethereum address here, and then you can actually Bitcoin at the moment. We're in the process because we think that if you create kcal by staking Sol, you've then got to send it to the Ethereum side of the wallet, which is going to cost you ETH fees. You've then got to sell it in Uniswap to turn it into Ethereum. That's going to cost ETH fees as well. It's just becoming too much of a pain point at the moment for users. So we're actively seeking a mainnet listing for kcal or a net5 version for kcal, which will make it far cheaper.
Okay.
Okay, just one more comment here, and that was thanks, Graydon. Very interesting indeed. So some lovely comments there from the community members. Has anybody else got any questions for Graydon? No. Okay, Graydon. Well, look, I'd like to thank you very much, as we can see from the feedback here. Everybody really enjoyed that presentation. So thank you very much. Thank you for coming on to us this evening and for showing us. It's definitely something I'm going to explore more. We have some hand clapping going on here and the screens and stuff.
Thanks, guys.
Yeah, and I think that's it. Have you any finishing words you'd like to finish up on?
No, I think I've probably waffled on far too long. So I'll no. Anytime. If you want to learn more about the project, it's phantasma.io.
I had dropped a link in earlier on in the chat, so people can download the chat and they can grab the links. So if you have any tutorial links that you'd like to drop into the chat while we go through our next presentation, Graydon, you can go ahead, and then people be able to download them later on.
Yeah, sure. You can also go into, if you go to phantasma.io and just scroll over where it says wallets, just underneath that it has tutorials, and we've got wallet tutorials and all kinds of things, how to go about various videos. We've got lots of instructional videos that you can click on.
Cool. Would it being so cost efficient, it might be time, Simon, for us to run another minting contest?
I think so.
We'll talk about it later. Right, Graydon, you've sent some inspiration here. We've come up with some ideas based on that, so we have. So I'd like to thank you very much. But what we're going to do is move on swiftly, because we do have another speaker this evening. Ian, are you still with us?
I am, yes. Can you hear me?
I can hear you indeed.
Okay, let me put my video on for you so you can see me.
Video on. So a quick introduction for those that don't know Ian. Ian has been with us as a community member. He was invited by Harley some time ago. So he was, and he is a bit of a community champion, I suppose I could put it, for Omni and the Veve app and the Veve platform. And so is Harley. And as we were talking about NTFs, and as he knows so much and as part of the community, I thought I'd invite him on to talk. He also has a great YouTube channel that I would advise you all to pop over and have a look. I'll drop a link into the chat now in a couple of minutes. So Ian, if you want to take over.
Yeah, of course. Yeah. I suppose the first thing to say is I don't work for Ecomi or Veve. I'm literally just a guy who liked the token. I bought the token and then I made a video quickly to explain something to somebody. And the video got quite a lot of views. So then I started doing a YouTube channel for that reason. And then I kind of carried on from there, really. But I'm going to try and explain to you what Veve is and what Omi is, and Ecomi. Ecomi essentially is the company, by the way. Omi is the token that is the fuel that runs Veve, and then Veve is the app that sells NFTs. Now, I've got a little screen thing which I'll go to in a second, but basically, I guess what Veve are trying to do, which most NFT platforms haven't really done, I suppose. Well, some have, but not all, and that is that they're mainly based around IPs, so intellectual property. So they're not aiming for, like you or me to make an NFT and try and sell it. They're aiming for the massive companies to come to them and have their NFTs made and then sell them to the general public. So it's kind of like it's crypto, but for the general masses. So there's no real crypto element to it when you go to buy an NFT. Like in, you know, OpenSea or whatever, you need to know how to connect a wallet. You need to know all that sort of stuff. With Veve, basically what happens is you go to the app and then you buy an NFT using your credit card. And that's pretty much it, really. That's all you need to know. So it's really one of my friends who I've got interested in it. She just bought some Powder Puff Girls because she liked them when she was a kid. So she just bought some of those, and she likes it because of the fact that she's investing in crypto, which is something she's wanted to do for a long time, but she knew exactly what to do. She didn't have to do tons and tons of research to decide what to do. She just bought the NFT because she liked it. And it just so happens to go up in price, maybe. And it could be an investment for the future, maybe. But just like with any crypto, you never really know. But anyway, let me try and share my screen, and I will go through. Right, where are we now? Let me see if I can figure this out. I believe it's this one. And share. So you'll have to let me know if that is sharing.
Starting to share now.
Marvelous.
Yeah.
Okay. So basically, this is the app itself. This is the Veve app. So I'll talk about Veve first, and then I will talk about the token that runs behind it, because there's essentially two ways to invest, whichever you prefer. The first one is Veve by buying the NFTs, and then the second one is the OMI token itself. So you can do either one of those. Essentially, you could invest in OMI just on its own. You can invest in NFTs on its own, and there's different members of the communities that do different things. I personally started off investing in OMI first, and then because I was doing live streams each week and stuff, I had sort of bought a collectible here and there, and then I kind of got, well, not like really super into it, but the thing is, I've noticed that the collectible price has gone up quite a lot in some of the ones I've bought. So therefore, because of that, I kind of see it as a good investment for the future to maybe buy one here and there that I think may have a value to it. But the ultimate aim for them is to get that many IPs and that many fandoms on board that you don't necessarily buy everything, because at the moment everybody buys everything because we're so early on. But what's going to happen is they're going to have so many drops, and it's going to be so many different fandoms that you will buy the fandom that you want. Okay. Now the reason I say drop, so let's talk about the app very quickly. You see, you got browse, drops, new. There's something else under there. I can't remember what that is. And then there's marketplace and a few other things down the bottom there that you can see the store marketplace profile. So basically, what you essentially got is you've got your own wallet, so you don't have to worry about. It's a walled garden essentially. You can't take these NFTs off of the market yet because they're all minted on GoChain. Now, when they change to Immutable X, which is coming in the next few weeks, then maybe some of them will be able to be moved to OpenSea and that kind of thing if you really want to. I personally don't see the point in it, but you know, that's what a lot of people like. They like to know that the NFT can be moved around, it's interoperable, that kind of thing, and therefore we're moving to Immutable X in a few months' time, a few weeks' time now, in theory. So therefore, they're going to change over the whole sort of system, I suppose. But the actual token and everything that goes on in the background will still stay the same. It just moves over to a different chain. So you've got your browse and your drops now. Every Thursday at the moment is what stands. Now, sometimes they did it on a Tuesday as well, and they've started doing more of them more frequently. They started doing 2 drops a week. Sometimes one on a Tuesday, one on a Thursday, sometimes every Thursday there's 2. It just depends. They sort of mix it around a bit. I guess they're trying out things at the moment as well, and there's no guaranteed schedule. You just kind of have to get the emails sent to you to let you know, or you have to be following the community or that kind of thing. But basically what happens is every Thursday, let's use that as an example, they'll do a drop of something. So for instance, if you see there, you'll see Harley Quinn, black, white and red. What will happen is they'll drop maybe 4 or 5 figures, and these are collectible figures. So as you can see, like the Jokers down below, you can see the Ghostbuster logo just there. That is one of the NFTs. So it's basically like a digital toy, I suppose. And it's all 3D, and it can be put into augmented reality as well. So therefore you can sort of stand next to it. You can take photos of it, that kind of thing. They've got a feed on there, which is a bit like Facebook. So therefore you can take pictures of your yourself with the collectibles and that kind of thing. And also there is a way to be able to let people visit your showroom. So when you buy stuff, you put it into a showroom, and then people can actually click on it and go into your showroom in sort of like, I guess, VR style or augmented reality, depending on which one you use. And you can go inside and you can look around the showroom of somebody else and see what they've got. And people do all sorts of crazy stuff with their showrooms as well, sort of kitting it out with stuff and making it look nicer. And that is all sort of coming further down the line as well. So that's the showroom side of things, and the drops is every Thursday, but these drops literally sell out within like 2 seconds. I kid you not, you'll literally be hammering on the button to try and get something. And if you do get it, because of that, you may pay £100 for it, but then it may go up in price drastically because of the fact that so many people were trying to get it. Normally they have, well, it depends. Some drops have 2,000, some drops have more than that. It just depends on the license, and they let you know beforehand, to let you know what's going on with that. So basically every Thursday there's a drop. If you manage to get yourself a collectible, it essentially goes into your wallet. So it's in your wallet there, and it stays in your wallet. So you don't have to worry about extra wallets and stuff like that. Now, the way you buy things is you basically buy gems. Now it's actually OMI in the background, but to make it so that it's it's not difficult to understand in terms of crypto and that kind of thing, they don't really talk about OMI in the Veve app at all. That's sort of a separate thing. But what's actually happening is you're buying, with your credit card, you're buying gems, which is actually OMI, which I'll explain in a bit. And then all you do is you swap those gems for your collectible. So you're basically essentially buying them with dollars. So every gem is $1. So you would buy, say, $100 worth of gems, and then you swap those gems for a collectible, and then you get that collectible inside your wallet. And then that also goes into your vault, which is where you can arrange it and you can move it around and all that kind of thing. So I've kind of glossed over it a little bit there. There's a little bit more to it, but people like it for that reason, because you've got the feed and all that kind of stuff. So that's kind of the app itself. Now, the other thing they're doing as well at the moment, it is just digital collectibles. That's all it is. So it is just a collectible that's 3D. You can put in AR, that kind of thing. But they're also coming out within the next year or so. They're coming out with the Veveverse, which is basically a metaverse that is going to be specifically for the collectibles. Now, there's not much that they've told us about that, really. There's sort of a lot of speculation as to what it could be. But we do know that there's going to be some kind of gamification to it. There's going to be a way to stake OMI, which is the Master Collector program. So basically, you'll stake OMI not to get more OMI, because they can't do that because of securities and things like that. So you won't be able to stake your coin to get more coin, or token. Sorry, it's not really a coin. Your token to get more token, but you will be able to get things which are then sort of sellable in the community. So if you're not really interested in the NFT side or the collectible side, then the staking option probably wouldn't be something you'd look at anyway, because you wouldn't really, if you just want to earn money from it, then that won't necessarily happen. But at the same time, you can, because you may get like a gold gem, and that might entitle you to, say, 10 seconds quicker on the drop than anyone else. Example, probably not 10 seconds because it sells out within 2. So, a couple of milliseconds quicker on the drop. And then what will happen is you could sell that onto somebody else and then essentially get the money for it. So that's going to be all in the future. They haven't really spoke too much about the staking side or the master collector thing, but it's all sort of speculation, and it's all in the roadmap as well. So that's kind of the Veve app, really. I don't think there's much more to go over. Like I said, I've glossed over it very quickly, so I hope I haven't gone too quick on it. But let me show you. This thing here. It's all about the brand. As I said, oops, not sure what happened there. That's my mic or someone else's. But it's all about the brands, and there's 100+ brands already signed on. So you can see some of the brands here. Is that my mic doing that noise, or is that someone else's mic? Can anybody hear that, or?
Yeah, I could hear it as well, but it's gone now.
Oh, right, okay. I don't know what that is then. I hope it's not. I don't think it's my phone interrupting, but anyway. Okay, so we've got you can see all the brands here on the screen. Hopefully, I'm assuming I'm sharing my screen at the moment. And you can see, you've got some big brands on there basically. And that's the idea of it. They've tried to go to as many big brands as possible. And the people that are going for these brands are people like Alfred Kahn. Now, Alfred Kahn is a part of the Ecomi team, and he's the guy who brought Pokemon to the US. So he's a big player in that space. He bought Pokemon and Yu-Gi-Oh and Cabbage Patch Kids, and just to name a few of them. And as you can see, a lot of these brands already are in the app already, and they've also just announced just recently. I don't think is on this list here, but Marvel is one of them that have announced as well. So that's a huge one, obviously. And all of these will basically be digital collectibles to for people who have that fandom. And the idea is to get the fans to come into the app and buy these collectibles. Now, as it stands at the moment, they also do art section as well. So they do different artists. So this is one that I bought the other week. And as you can see, this is the Da Vinci Pride. And this was 1952, 1,952 of them. And it was for Gay Pride Day or week, I guess. I don't know which one it was. But basically, there was only that many of them minted. And it was £100 when I bought it. And they have their own marketplace, you see, and you can buy and sell in there. And as you can see, the lowest price that it's going for currently is 1.6K. So therefore, for buying something for £100 and then about 3 weeks later, it jumped into that sort of price. Now, there is a slight issue with this, and that is that at the moment, there is no off-ramp of fiat. So basically what happens is you buy your gems or you buy your collectible, and even if it goes to that and then you then sell it for 1.6K gems, all you have is gems. They're not actually worth anything until they have the ability to be able to cash out. Groups, you can sell on eBay, that kind of thing. A lot of people do that, but then obviously you risk the chance of getting scammed. But they are bringing in an MTL, a money transmitter license, in the next few weeks, so therefore you can then cash out as well. So you know, it's going to be interesting to see what happens with the prices of collectibles when people can cash out, whether it's going to go skyrocketing. I'm guessing we're going to get a lot more users come in as well, because when people find out they can actually cash out, then they're going to be more sort of infused to go and buy stuff because of the fact that they can make some money from it. But as it stands at the moment, you can buy stuff, but you can't cash out unless you do it a different way. A lot of people, they'll buy stuff, they'll get the gems, and you can transfer gems and collectibles between people as well. So therefore, when you're selling, you literally just put their name in and it transfers a collectible to them. Or if you want to do the same with gems, you can do the same with gems. So people can say to you, oh, you know, I'll buy your 1,600 gems, for instance, for, I don't know, £1,500, and then they just transfer the money, then you transfer the gems, and then you've managed to cash out. So there are ways of doing that as well, but at the moment, officially, there is no way of doing it. So that kind of puts a lot of people off. But the good thing about that is because people are put off by that, I guess there's a lot more people who aren't, who are collecting these collectibles and hoarding them so that when there is a big fandom and when there is more people coming into the app, then they're worth a lot more money, essentially. And some of them, this is just a small example of one in the last couple of weeks, but one of them, for instance, the Donny, which is one of the horses from Powderpuff Girls, that last sold on one of the marketplaces for 26,000. So, and that was a 14.99 collectible, I believe. So therefore there is scope for them to be worth money. Now, I don't think they're worth as much as other NFTs that you see out there, like Beeple and all that kind of thing. But at the same time, this is going for the general market rather than, you know, the people who know how to do the crypto side of stuff. Now, so the OMI token is what goes on in the background. Now, basically what happens is that every time you buy an NFT, your gems that you buy are not really gems, they're actually OMI. So the OMI for the amount of gems you bought, so say you bought $100 worth, they actually take $100 worth of OMI and then they sort of hold it there in a wallet. So they take it from a reserve wallet and then they put it into a vault wallet. So that amount of OMI. And then what happens is when that NFT is bought or when those gems are spent, then that OMI gets burnt. Okay, so it's kind of a deflationary token at the same time. Now, this is the system that they've got going on. Now, basically, as you can see here, the actual details, the total supply is 750 billion. So that's a lot. But inside the reserve wallet is 300 billion. Okay, and that's never seen the light of day. That doesn't see the light of day at all. And then you've got 40 billion that's inside the vault wallet. And this kind of runs in the app and keeps it going. And then the rest of it, the actual circulating supply, let's just say it's 197 just to make it easy. So it's 197 billion. So it's still a lot. And there's a lot of token unlocks that are coming as well. I think it's every 3 months. But I think the maximum that it can be is something like 250 billion or something like that. And they also locked away by mistake 98 billion tokens in the start by adding a couple of numbers in. They locked it away for a couple of thousand years by mistake. So therefore that came off the supply as well. So you might be thinking, well, that's a lot. How's it ever going to go down? And what's the point of buying in? Well, basically, every time you buy or somebody buys an NFT, 10% of that cost essentially gets put in a bank account somewhere. Now that's 10% minus app fees, incidentally. Gets put in a bank account somewhere, and then what happens is when the reserve wallet starts to get lower, they then use that money to buy back OMI from the exchange to top up the reserve wallet. So therefore, it's essentially deflationary from the exchange as well. And not only that, when they start adding in things like shelving units and stuff like that, they're also going to allow you to buy it with OMI. So they're going to do a new thing, which is OMI to NFT, where you can buy the OMI from the exchange, and then you can literally change it for shelving units and all this kind of thing that helps soup up your, your showroom and all that kind of stuff. And also they're going to allow you to buy NFTs with the OMI as well, which again will burn the OMI. So therefore, 100% of that OMI coming off the exchange, when they allow you to buy it with OMI, you'll buy a certain NFT that will burn that OMI completely, and then that will be the end of that. So that will slowly go down as well as the reserve going down. But as I said, the reserve doesn't really matter too much anyway, because when you're burning from the reserve, it goes down, but it doesn't affect the price of the circulating supply. It doesn't affect the price of OMI at all. The only time it affects it is when they do a buyback. Now they've already done 2 buybacks already. It hasn't affected the price massively, but it's more, I guess it's more about the morale side of it. And also it's about the fact that it is over a period of time burning the token. So there you go. So I don't think there's much else to say about incidentally, it's almost 8 billion has been burnt so far. So on the drops that they've done so far, I guess they've done about 20 or 30 drops in total. I would count them in my thing, but I won't do that now. And I guess it's come up to about 8 billion. So 8 billion of OMI has already been burnt from the reserve wallet. So therefore, remember, there's 300 billion in there. They've burnt 8 billion of it just from the drops they've done. And now they've done 2 buybacks to top up that reserve again. So therefore, the price they'll do it as like a drip system. So the price will gradually go up. And there's a lot of things coming to the Veveverse and to the Veve app itself to give more utility for the token, so more tokens will get burned. Like, for instance, they're going to make it probably so that if you put some OMI, or if you buy something with OMI, you get a slight discount on it. And because the MTL is going to be there to buy OMI directly from the exchange, it means that people who go into the app who don't know anything about crypto can literally just buy OMI straight away with their credit card, change it for a collectible, and then that in turn will burn OMI as well. So there's lots of different ways that it's going to create utility for the token so that it is deflationary. And therefore, in theory, it means that the price should go up quite a lot. It hasn't gone up massively at the moment. It's about 2.0023, I think, is what it's in at the moment. So it's a great time to get in. I personally, about 3 or 4 months ago now, I got in about this price, and then it went all the way up to 1.5 cents. And then it started plummeting down again. And that was just because of different bits of bad news and that kind of thing, and also just the crypto market in general. But they had the news of Marvel, which boosted it, and every time they have a little bit of news, and obviously when Immutable comes in as well, then it's predicted that it's going to start rising as well. But obviously it's crypto, so you never know. So I think that's pretty much it. Anyway, I don't think there's anything else. If anyone's got any questions about stuff, then I can try my best to answer them. Or I know that Harley might have some stuff to say, because she's very much into the Veve side of it as well. So
you want to hop in there, Harley, for a second?
I can do a wee bit, but that was fantastic, and that was brilliant, the coverage you got there of everything. I think that I'm gonna be, I think I kind of represent the majority of the demographic they're gonna want to reach with this project. Because like Paula knows, all of you guys know, I came into this with you guys in March, and didn't really know anything, and then from that got to know all of you guys and learn about crypto, and but had no knowledge of any of it before this, and I'm still learning so much, like every day, from the Veve community and like other communities online. But I think for me, I think what excites me the most is this is for what I've been learning. I've been speaking to some artists as well in Clubhouse, which is like another app. It's kind of like a chat room type thing. And they're artists like Frank Kozik, and Jermaine Rogers, and these are artists who are quite well established, and they're coming onto Veve and releasing their stuff. But their products are, I think, Ian, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think things like that are owned by artists are going to be able to more easily be moved onto OpenSea, and be able to be sort of treated in a more open way, rather than needing to be kept within the Veve ecosystem. And I think that's down to just the licensors and like sort of bigger brands are going to take a little bit more time to assimilate to the crypto sort of idea. So, but artists like Frank and they already have pieces on OpenSea, so that sort of connection has already been made. So that's super interesting as well. And it's just mad. It's crazy. It's crazy. It's just mad what's been going on. But yeah, it's a super interesting project, and I love gaming as well. So the idea of in the next couple of years, they're going to bring in this gamification, excuse me, aspect. And yeah, I think that's just something, a whole nother layer that we haven't really gotten into yet. So I think it's gonna be pretty mad. Pretty mad.
One of the reasons, or one of my interests in this whole project, was actually from talking to you, Harley. And you know, I've been in crypto for quite a long time now. And one of the major headaches in the crypto sphere, and Graydon, you can probably confirm this as well from your experience and your years in the industry, is onboarding. You know, getting people on board into crypto is really, really difficult, because you've got this exchange and that exchange. And, you know, a couple of years ago, you had to buy Bitcoin before you could buy something else. And it's just an absolute nightmare. And why I wanted to personally find out more about this is because I think the app itself solves a major, major problem in terms of onboarding. But without that offboarding ramp, there's still a major, major obstacle to be solved.
Absolutely.
And I know with apps on Google Play, they're not crypto, Google Play are not crypto friendly. And them trying to get an off ramp using an app on Google Play is going to be very difficult for them. So I do wish them luck on that.
The money transmitter license, all that sort of stuff, all planned and all ready to go. In terms of because you buy it at the moment using your credit card using Google Play or Apple, but they're also doing a web platform as well. But I believe they're saying that the money transmitter license, which is obviously the thing that is sort of, it's a bone of contention in the community as well, because everyone's like, when can we cash out? Because why do you want to buy something if you can't? You know, I suppose that originally when they were thinking of it, they were kind of thinking of it a bit like, almost like Pokemon cards. You know, you go to a store and you buy Pokemon cards. You don't then go back to that store and say, hey, can you buy this back off me? You know, so therefore, I guess they were seeing it as digital collectibles. People were going to collect them because they wanted to collect them. But now there's a lot of flippers in the market, essentially. You know, there is a lot of people who buy them straight away and then they flip them, because at the end of the day, it makes money. So, you know, and it is a great way of making money. If you can manage to, if your finger's fast enough and you manage to get a ghost trap the other week for £100, it was literally selling 3 minutes afterwards on the marketplace for 1.7K. So the only thing was that now, if you go to the marketplace, you can buy it for $500. So it's literally a case of whether you get in there first, whether you get the sale, and also whether or not it carries on going up. But like the one that I bought for £100, for instance, it didn't stop going up. It wasn't straight away that it changed, but over a period of time, it's gone up. So I'm confident that it's not gonna go back down again that much. But to be honest, there's a big drop in it at the moment anyway. I guess crypto in general, although it's starting to pick up again, isn't it? A little bit. But, you know, in terms of the NFTs as well, we had Comic-Con, which was a bit of a failed event the other week for us, because of the fact that they got together with a company who were going to Comic-Con and were doing a metaverse for them and all this kind of thing. And then I guess the company pulled out at the last minute or something. So they were sponsoring that event. And because of that, we didn't go to Comic-Con. So therefore there's a lot of FUD surrounding that. And therefore, you know, a lot of people sold their OMI, that kind of thing. So that's why I said it's a great time to get in now. But when you know what licenses are coming as well, and what's coming in the future, if you can sort of see the vision of the future, so to speak, as Harley was saying, the metaverse, I think, is going to be the big, one of the big things. I don't really know much about them at all. I tried looking at some of the ones that are available at the moment. I couldn't even work it out. So I'm not sure how I'm going to work out the Veveverse, but I know from, other people talking about it that it's going to be a big thing.
Yeah.
That's the one I looked at, and I got stuck on a wall. I couldn't move around. So,
it's definitely it's the I think it's like the evolution of gaming almost, in some ways, which is going to be super exciting. But I just had a wee thought there, Paula, when you said about Google and them kind of being the ones that are going to have the issue with the offboarding of crypto to fiat. Have you heard of any sort of people that have attempted it, or like could you think of a solution? Like, I just thought, would they maybe need to use like a third party situation or something, and then you'd be able to get your fiat from them or something?
But if they're getting a money transfer license, that might be enough.
Okay.
But if they were to use a third party, they could do something like what BAT does, and they use Uphold to do all the transferring, because you need to start having KYC licenses when you've got money licenses, and a lot of other things change and come into play. So they do.
Do you know much about the MTLs and stuff like that? Because we don't really know. We don't know. Okay.
No.
Okay.
No,
so we'll look into it a bit more. That's okay.
The company that I believe they're going to be using is a company called coinpayments.net.
Okay.
So therefore, it's already essentially supported. Basically, one of the founders of the company, or one of the advisors of the company, is the chief marketing officer for coinpayments.net. So my personal feeling is that's what they're going to use.
Okay. And are they well established? Are they?
Yeah, they are. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Does anyone have any questions for Ian? Because we are pushing late on time.
I just thought that what Harley said there with regard to demographics, I think I'm a little bit older than most of the people I see here on the screen. And if I think back to Pokemon cards and things like that, I mean, I was never into that. I was always too old for those types of things. And I can see exactly what Harley's saying, that this especially because of the the comic side of it and the superhero side of it, etc., it's going to really appeal to a certain genre, and certainly to the younger generation. And when we get a situation where we can actually come on board and then make some money and leave, and it becomes very, very much simpler, I think then that there'll be a bigger adoption. I mean, one of the things about what Graydon was saying about how you went around and bought the tokens, I mean, that's, no offense, Graydon, very, very complicated. And I've used Pancake and all of that before, and it's just a nightmare. And where did I get the information? I had to go onto Facebook and ask somebody on Facebook, how do I buy this coin? What's the mechanism? And then until that is all solved in this new developing marketplace, I think adoption is going to be maybe slower than maybe it could be. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm just a bit of a dinosaur. I like it to be very simple.
No, I think that's a great point. I think it's a very good point. And we actually had a discussion in a spaces on Twitter the other day about the decentralized nature of this situation. I feel like things like Phantasma and OpenSea are fully decentralized in the way you have to fully use crypto, and it's, you kind of have to have that crypto knowledge that you're talking about to kind of access them, which is definitely, it took me talking to Paula and all of these guys to get into that. Like yourself, you had to speak to people, and but whereas Veve, it's kind of an enigma where it's in the back it's kind of decentralized with the OMI, but in the front it's more of a commercial, sort of, we have all these brands that we recognize, and that's kind of what is the face of the situation, which is much more approachable. Like you say, and Veve is also going to have digital comic books as well that are coming out, supported by Marvel, so that will get to people like yourself, maybe if that's something that you'd be interested in.
Yeah, I see the
But
USP.
it's much it's much more digestible, I think.
Yeah, the USP is the comic superhero type side of it. That's what actually is, even for me being as old as I am, is intriguing. Because I recognize that, and I watch the movies, and as we all probably do, and you can see the value there. But until it's easy to do, and I'm sure it is easy. But I like being able just to go and buy something. I like it. I don't like it. Sell it. Keep it. Whatever.
That's pretty much the process, I would say, Ian. Right now, I think.
Yeah, that's pretty much the process. The only difficulty is that once you've got the gems in your wallet, essentially, once you've sold something, is that you can't cash it out at this moment in time.
Yes.
But as I said, that kind of that is coming, and also that kind of makes it better in a way at the moment, because of the fact that I guess the prices that they're setting, and the people are the way they're buying stuff essentially is they're investing for the future. So it's not just people buying it then quickly trying to get rid of it. It's people are holding it, and they're that kind of thing. But it's definitely easier than any other thing. And when they get the money transmitter license, the idea is you'll be able to buy OMI directly off of the app, just from the exchange. So you won't even have to visit an exchange. You'll just buy the OMI straight away. And that's if you want to buy it with, if you want to get, say, 10% off your NFT, you'll buy OMI instead of buying gems. But you can also buy gems as well. So it's a sort of a swings and roundabouts thing. But not only do they have like the comic stuff as well, but they also have an art section as well. And also they have a few different areas they're looking at, but art is one of them, the Artist Alley. And they're going to have some big artists on there. Now, there's been rumors that there's going to be like Banksy and people like that on there as well. We haven't had any confirmations on that. But
no, it's all speculation. All speculation.
Yeah, exactly. All speculation on that side. But, there's little bits of proof that people have picked up along the way that are possibilities. The guy, David Yu, who runs the company, essentially has his own collector's store that's massive in New Zealand. And he was the one who bought Pokemon, funnily enough, to New Zealand. So therefore, he got the license from Alfred Kahn when he was younger, and then did the whole Pokemon thing in New Zealand or what have you. Well, he has his own collectible stores, so he has all of the ties with all of these artists already. They've got Ron English on there. They've got Frank Kozik, Jermaine. What was the name of that chap? Jermaine
Rogers.
Jermaine Rogers, that's the one. Yes, he was the other day with the rabbits.
Simone Legno as well. He's
that's it. Yep, Simone Legno. Yep. So therefore, it's kind of all of these guys. Then it's not just comic books essentially. So if you don't like Batman, then you might want to get a Dragon Girl. If you don't like Dragon Girl, you might want to get a serial killers from Ron English, who's like a graffiti artist type guy, or that's where he started. So there's lots of different. They're basically creating to everybody's fandom. So no matter what your fandom is, that's kind of the slogan in a way. Is no matter what your fandom, they have something for you. So they haven't necessarily rolled it out yet. But they're even going to do a Veve Kids as well, which is the LOL dolls. Apparently a massive. I don't know. I don't know much about them. I'm not a small child. But
yeah, they're a big deal. They're a pretty big deal.
Yeah, so
I've spent as much money on them as I have on them Robux that Graydon was talking about earlier on.
Oh my gosh.
Okay, well there you go. You see, so they've just announced that license as well as being one that's going to come into the app. So it's there's literally a fandom for everyone, I suppose. And what you got to remember is when you're buying something, it's got the opportunity to go up in value as well, because there's only a set amount of them. There will only ever be a set amount minted. So therefore, you've got one of the only ones. And if you get a low mint of it as well, it's worth even more essentially as well, because it's just sort of the way the community is going. But I'm not really sure the whole thing about, going to OpenSea and all that. I don't really know why everyone's that bothered about it, because the good thing about it being in a walled garden at the moment as well is that if something gets stolen or something like that, then it can be retrieved as well. And they've actually done that as well. People have gone into people's accounts, they stole stuff out of it, and they managed to retrieve those items back. Compensate the people who had it stolen. And also the thing about taking it to another place like OpenSea or something like that is it basically just becomes a picture. Whereas on Veve, it's actually a 3D collectible, and you have it in AR, and you can see, all around it. You can look underneath it. You can I've had my family just posing in the kitchen with it next to them because they think it's a cool photo, you know. So it's, whereas if you put it on OpenSea or something like that, you lose all of that, well, that function.
Magic.
I can see how enthusiastic both of you are about this, and I wonder you are.
We're biased, very biased.
Community
Little bit.
champions
So,
for this. I would definitely, call you perfect champions for this. Has anybody else got any questions? Simon, did you have a question there? I see
it was only a quick one, just about ownership of it, because the one thing I spotted about it, and I wasn't sure about, was it isn't non-custodial. So once you've got the wallet, it's linked to the password. And I think you covered that off a bit earlier. In that, is it actually yours, or is it in a centralized wallet owned by Ecomi, in effect?
Well, I guess, there's this whole thing about whether or not it's an NFT or not. Now, when they go to Immutable, obviously, when you can move it off and all that kind of thing, but it's still an NFT, because an NFT essentially is just a receipt, isn't it? So the asset is stored somewhere else, and then that receipt is what you've got. So I suppose essentially it's still an NFT. Now, just like with anything, because you could say, well, what happens if the company goes bust? Then that means you've lost your NFTs, but then that's exactly the same with OpenSea or anywhere like that, because where are they stored? The asset is stored somewhere, and then you've just got the information on the blockchain.
Well, no, that's not fully correct. So it's not. So if you have an NFT on OpenSea, it's an ERC whatever number token, and you can access that from it. It'll always be in your wallet, and you can access that in your wallet wherever you go.
Yes,
okay,
but
on
it's
the
only
Ether
the receipt
blockchain.
for it. The actual asset itself is on a website somewhere, or it's on a server. So if for instance the artist, because there's things of this on the internet where the artist just went in and changed the photo, and incidentally, Veve do that sometimes as well. Like they might add animation to your NFT or something like that, which then increases the value. They just randomly picked one and added animation, so everyone was really happy. But then they were like, well, how can they do that if I own it? And I think people get confused and think that when it's in their wallet, they actually have something in their wallet. Well, they don't. They just have the receipt essentially to point to where it's stored. So if that storage goes down, you've lost it anyway. So I don't really understand the whole thing of like, well, if Veve goes down, you've lost it. Well, if OpenSea goes down, then you've lost everything, unless, well, it depends where it's stored, I guess. But I'm guessing that if it went down, then you would lose access to all the stuff. I don't know. Maybe the other chap would know better than me.
Yeah, I was just thinking that because Phantom uses the IFPS. Yeah, so it's it's not a centralized third party, so it can't go down.
No, it's all with the what am I trying to say? So all metadata is on chain with off chain backups, but the wallet is decentralized. In you own the NFTs. If anything goes down, the NFTs are sitting in your wallet. You can link them. Once we're interoperable, we're already interoperable for fungible tokens with Ethereum and Neo and Binance Chain. Once we're doing interoperability for non-fungible tokens as well, you'll be able to send. They reside in your wallet. If OpenSea goes down, they still reside in my wallet. I can then transfer them to Rarible or Mintable or any other platform that I want that we're interoperable with. But
you're saying the asset resides in your wallet, or you mean just the
no.
so the actual asset as well is in your wallet as well.
Yeah.
Okay, all right, that's the sort
I think, and I don't know if that, because we're going from the Go chain to Immutable is it the layer 2 protocol thing that's coming up. I know, sorry, I need to brush up on all of the technicals, and I don't know if that will maybe change something, where by like solidifying it on the blockchain, on that blockchain through Ethereum.
I think at the moment they're minted, but they're minted on Go chain, so therefore you can't, like, you could search, but you wouldn't be able to find them essentially. So they are NFTs, but they're minted on a chain where it's not like you can just go and get them. Whereas when they change to Immutable X, what they're going to do is they're going to remint them obviously on Immutable X, and then essentially they're on Ethereum. So because of that, they've got more data, and I guess they'll be stored in the same place. I don't know where they're stored. They don't talk about that, and the reason I guess they don't talk about that is because they don't need to. So yeah, there's the whole walled garden aspect, which kind of makes it good. But then there's also the thing that a lot of crypto people are like, well, I want to be able to own it. But the thing is that once you own it, if you lose it, you've lost it. Whereas with Veve, you have a password and you have a thing, and that's it. So for instance, if you've got Veve kids and you've got your kids playing around with it, and then they lose the phone, they haven't lost their wallet access or anything like that. Yeah. Whereas you know how easy it is to lose the keys to your crypto if you don't know what you're doing, or if you just mess up somehow.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think not to go on too long, but the point that Paula said about her spending money, is it Robux?
Yeah.
Is that what they're called? Spending money on Robux. And I think that, and then what I was saying about the half decentralized in the back and sort of, I'm not going to say centralized, but commercially sort of commercial in the front, decentralized in the back. But I think the way it's kind of been described is that if you say the gems are like Robux, is that them?
Yeah.
And then like you buy the skin, so you bought some, I don't know what, you buy like a skin in Robux or something.
Yeah.
But Robux owns that still,
yes,
technically. But whereas with Veve, I think it's going to get to the kind of stage where you could then keep it for a year. If your daughter doesn't like it anymore, you don't have to fork out, more money. You could then sell it back. You could, pay it forward.
Yeah, it's exactly what Graydon was saying when he was talking about that side of things as well.
So that's definitely, I think it's integrated as well.
For what Graydon is doing more so, because with the gaming and all the gaming that's going on their platform, it fits straight with Robux, whereas at the moment the Veve app hasn't got gaming. It's all about just interacting and playing with the individual character or something.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Okay, well look, we're really short on time now. We've almost ran over by a full hour. So I have.
Sorry.
So Ian and Harley and Graydon, I'd like to thank you very much. But before we finish up for the evening, I am going to share my screen because this is the leaderboard for the Bitcoin guessing contest. And for those of you that aren't aware, we put in entries to guess the price of Bitcoin for the last day of every month, moving forward to the end of December. So being the 30th of the month, I ran the pricing there a couple of minutes ago, and I ran the leaderboard with our first lot of prices. So whoever is closest gets 12 points, and we have 12 members. So the furthest away from the actual Bitcoin price only gets 1 point. So we can see where the leaderboard stands here at the moment. Don isn't with us. Don came in first this month with 12 points. Wayne came in second. I think we do have Wayne here, or we did have Wayne here. Wayne came in second. Simon, you came in third. Yeah, I'm all the way down the bottom. I don't know what to say. Harley, we never got one from you.
I know, sorry.
We never got one from you either.
I've been all over the place.
You're above me, as always. So yeah, and I'm second last. So the price, when I took the price there, was only a couple of minutes ago. Well, it was about an hour ago. It was $39,305 when I took the price there. So most of the pricing, I'm just going to go back to the sheet for the second, just so people can see what came in for July. So these were the July guesses. And as we can see, most of us were below the actual price. So most of us had more of a pessimistic view and were a little bit more bear-like. The market has just turned, so let's hope that it continues to turn. And I wish you massive profits for everybody in the month of August. And that's really it. Enjoy your summer holidays, everybody. And we'll see you all in September. Thank you very much for this evening.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you so much, everyone.
Bye, Wayne. See you later, Wayne.
Bye.
Thanks very much, Ian. Bye. Alfonso, thank you very much.
Take care, everyone.
Teresa, thank you. Take it easy, everybody.
Bye.
All right, have a good weekend.
Graydon, thanks very much.
Thanks, Graydon.
Yeah, no problem. Have a nice weekend.
You too.
Cheers.
Oh, wow.
I'll stop recording.